Mr. Grinch, you really are here. You're as cuddly as a cactus and as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 45.5-foot pole. You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile. You're a foul one, Mr. Grinch. You're a nasty, wasty skunk. Your heart is full of unwashed socks. Your soul is full of gunk, Mr. Grinch. The three words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote: stink, stank, stunk. You're a rotter, Mr. Grinch. You're the king of sinful sots. Your heart's a dead tomato splotched with moldy purple spots, Mr. Grinch. Your soul is an appalling dump heap, overflowing with the most disgraceful assortment of deplorable rubbish imaginable. Mangled up and tangled up and You nauseate me, Mr. Grinch, with the nausea super nos. You're a crooked joikey jockey when you have a crooked hoss, Mr. Grinch. You're a three-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce.
Merry Christmas from Lee Allen right there. Come on.
They're great.
Good morning. It's a maze up here today. How was everyone today? Good. I want to welcome you all to the 11/11 Christmas celebration, and welcome those of you who are online. But most importantly, I want to welcome my family who's here with me today, who only comes on Christmas and Easter. So yes, we have some of those here today.
Right.
But best of all, I want to say, you know, tradition is important, and sometimes we have to change our traditions. And this year, my tradition is changing. I have one that's overseas, honoring this country and serving for us. And so it's our first year without him at Christmas. So as I know some of you might have some as well overseas watching us over, and some of you might have lost somebody this year. So as traditions change, just know that we're all here together. But please join me as we say our welcome candle, which is lit. Hey. Join me. Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, it doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, even if you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come yet again.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Hey, group, it's time to stand and sing a Christmas carol together. Are you with me? Woot. All right, here we go. We're going to rock this one. Here we go. Hark the herald angels sing. is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, take our hearts as offering. All right. Verse 2. Hail the heavenly light of peace, hail the Son of righteousness, light and light to all he brings, risen with healing in his wings. While the elates his glory by, born that mantle sanctified, born to raise us from the earth, born to give a second birth. Hark the herald angels sing, take our hearts as offering. Verse 3. Come, desire of nations, come, fix in us thy humble home. Raise the winds, conquering sea, bruise in us the serpent's head. Now display the saving power, ruin nature, now restore. Now in mystic union join, thine to ours and ours to thine. Hark the herald angels sing, take our hearts as offering. Hark the herald angels sing, take our hearts as offering. Folks, if y'all would take just a moment and offer one another a sign of peace. Actually, take as long as you want. Go crazy.
Are we all together here? There we are. Okay. All right, we got sound. Okay. Rudolph here. And so welcome to 1111 at the Botanic Garden. So glad to see you all. One of our members was wearing this on the way inside, and I don't know why, but two other people said he should be wearing this. So I'm wearing it for now, but I'll take it off in a minute. Good to have you all watching online. I know we got a lot of folks visiting online from all over the place because of our guest this morning. Why did you take a picture of that? Of all things.
Yeah.
There'll be a beautiful moment up here in just a minute with all these ukulele players. Okay, anyway. So we're so glad to have you here. Make sure you register your attendance. Just wanted to let you know that this is our last Sunday of the year because we won't be meeting next week. This has always been something we've typically done, not met that very last Sunday of the year. We'll come back together on the 5th of January. We'll be in here for what we call a re-gifting service. And it's an interesting experience if you haven't ever been to it. So I invite you to come back for that. We'll have some special music and a lot of fun as we welcome the new year. And also as we co-conspire into the coming year and what we're about here in this community and in this space. So it's really hard to talk with this thing on. So in a minute, we'll pass the offering plates, and we hope that you'll take a moment to do that and support the work here as well as the work at First United Methodist Church downtown, which we are a satellite of. So good to have you all here this morning. I'll introduce our guests in just a little bit, and we'll have some special music in just a moment. Well, no, I'll introduce our guest now. Come to think of it, yes, because she's about to come right up and do something fun to start off, yeah. So I have known Bernadette Nason for many, many years. Bernadette has been part of the storytelling community throughout Texas and beyond, of which I was a part of for about 25 years, traveling around the place. And she is a phenomenal actress from Austin who's done a number of shows there and continues to stay very busy with that. But one of the things she does during the season, of course, is A Christmas Carol. She has 2 books. Did you bring any books? Okay. Yeah, okay. She has books if you're interested in that afterwards. One of the stories she'll do this morning is from that. But she is a talented writer and a talented performer, and so I'm so glad that we could get her and have her here. Bernadette, I invite you up here. Let's welcome Bernadette Nason.
When I was about 9, I set out the wooden shed and unwrapped the nativity pieces, ready to put together the family creche. I was horrified to discover that the baby Jesus had disappeared. We'd already lost the little manger, so this was serious. The next Saturday morning, I found myself walking around Woolworths in my hometown. I wasn't looking for a baby Jesus. My favorite counter was the candy counter, and it so happened that right next to the candy counter was the little plastic objects counter. All of a sudden, I had magpie syndrome. My eyes were drawn to all these bright, shiny things, and the one that attracted me most was a very shiny, brightly colored baby Jesus in a manger. Not just a baby Jesus, not just a manger, but a 2-in-1. I went to look close up. There must have been hundreds of baby Jesuses in the baby Jesus section, all exactly the same. I didn't care. The more the merrier. Let everybody have a shiny plastic made in Hong Kong baby Jesus in a manger. I wanted only one. I picked up the topmost of these delicate items and held it carefully in my little girl hands. The manger was brown and shiny. The straw was yellow and shiny. The baby Jesus was wrapped in swaddling clothes, white and shiny. The King of Kings had an actual face with an actual facial expression. He was lovely and very real. Frankly, he was much nicer than our old baby Jesus, who was tiny and whose face was so small that there was no expression, not even any features to speak of. This was a superb piece of craftsmanship, really it was, and it didn't matter that there were hundreds of them, all exactly the same. It was quite simply the most beautiful thing that I had ever seen. I looked at the price, 6pence, which was less than a quarter, so very cheap. I wondered if my mum would pay for it. I pictured the scene, Mum in the middle of making dinner. Mummy, you know that we can't find the baby Jesus. Yes, dear. And you know that we've lost the manger as well. I know, dear. It's very sad. I saw a baby Jesus in a manger at Woolworths, Mummy. Not just a baby Jesus, but a baby Jesus in a manger. Will you buy it for us, please? Haven't you got any pocket money left, dear? No, Mum, I spent it on sweets. Well, I'm sorry, love, but I haven't got any money to spare at the moment. But, Mum, it's only 6pence. I'm afraid I don't have 6pence. Why don't you make one out of a pine cone, darling? I know you can. Well, I didn't think I could. So what was I going to do? We needed the baby Jesus in a manger. I needed the baby Jesus in a manger. So I looked at the splendid object in my hand, and that's when I had an idea. A really bad idea. The guard of the shiny plastic objects counter was actually Mrs. Ratty, a neighbour with a long pointed face and beady eyes who'd always rather frightened me. Mum once said, "How awful to be called Mrs. Ratty when you actually look like a rat." I waited until she was at the end of the counter, and in the split second before she turned around to walk back in my direction, I slipped the beautiful baby into the pocket of my coat. I stole it. I didn't mean to. It was almost without awareness. It was so easy. But as fast as I'd pinched it, I wanted to put it back. But Mrs. Ratty turned and looked right at me. So it was too late. The deed was done. I had joined the criminal class. Glancing around to see if anyone had noticed the change in me, I made my way to the exit. Sick to my stomach, I slunk out of the shop. I'd never stolen anything before. You can only imagine my sense of guilt. Imagine then that you're Catholic and you've stolen the baby Jesus. The gates to hell might just as well open up and swallow you right there and then. I hardly remember the walk home. The blessed infant burned a hole in my pocket. That glittering prize in swaddling clothes was so hot my hand dripped with the sweat of shame. But when I got home, I took the offending object out of my pocket and I hung my anorak on the hall stand. Heart thumping, mouth dry, I stood before the family nativity and looked at the scene. Despite my horror at what I'd just done, I placed the stolen merchandise in the middle of the wooden stall so that Mary and Joseph could once again pick up their roles as mother and foster father, or is it stepfather? I don't know, to the Son of God. But there was something that I hadn't considered, something that wouldn't have occurred to a child of 9. The shiny plastic made in Hong Kong baby Jesus in a manger was bigger than his parents. The object was massive, at least compared with the Holy Mum and Dad. Our Mary and Joseph were elegant and, well, small. And my too-hot-to-handle holy babe was gigantic. It was like setting a monster tractor in a room full of Lamborghinis. Mary and Joseph would have required a stepladder just to gaze down on him lovingly. I was just beginning to realize the ridiculousness of the situation when my mother walked into the room. I didn't enjoy the walk back to Woolworths. Humble pie with a big dollop of groveling apology was difficult for me to swallow. I hadn't even had time to appreciate the error of my ways before being caught in the act. There were no criminal repercussions, no shame-filled stories repeated at a later date, until now, anyway, and no punishment that I recall. My mother had her own methods of instilling morals. Her quiet disappointment was almost more than a person could stand. A daily glance at the matchbox with cotton wool and an imaginary baby, which sufficed that year for the glorious newborn, was enough to remind me that stealing baby Jesus wasn't the way to build a crib. It wasn't the way to please my mother, and it certainly wasn't the way to get to heaven.
So we did this song. I'm going to invite right now Adrian and Lori, if y'all want to go ahead and pass the baskets and do that for our offering. We did this song at the very beginning of the Advent season. It's a beautiful song called May You Find the Light. And it seems so appropriate, and it seems so appropriate to do it again on the day after winter solstice. We're in the winter solstice weekend. Winter solstice was yesterday. So we have the longest nights right now, and so the shortest span of light during the daytime. So metaphorically, of course, it's a time for reflection, a time to consider what's actually germinating, what's actually being cultivated in our own lives, and maybe seeking birth in this season, if you will. And so this song seemed very appropriate. We did the song, and it was lovely. The band helped. nothing was recorded. Our equipment wasn't working. So it was one of those deals where people were going around. And we had a smaller crowd, and people were saying it was lovely, it was wonderful, and you had to be there. So this morning, you have to be here, but also you can come back and share it with friends later on. And those of our friends who are online can also enjoy this. I'm playing a 10-string, rare little instrument called a tipple, which is a 10-string ukulele. And so, hope this song helps you get into the spirit of this solstice season. Lost and weary traveler, searching for a way to go. Stranger, heavy-hearted, looking for someone to know. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. There are weary travelers searching everywhere you go. Strangers who are searching long and deeply to be known. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home.
I love that. That was beautiful. How about one more round of applause? Good morning. I'm Cynthia Powell, and I'm delighted to be guiding the Kairos moment. I just want to say how thrilled I am to be looking out at all of your vibrant, lovely faces. and this week of Christmas. So I'd like to start with a daily word, and the word of the day is love. So on my Advent journey, I abide in love. One of the most beloved verses of Scripture calls me to recognize love as the greatest of spiritual blessings. Today I will take the words of the Apostle Paul to heart and abide in love everywhere I go. To the marketplace, I spread my warmth with kind interactions with clerks, fellow customers. At meetings, whether work-related or social, I offer words of cheer that greet everyone as beloved divine children. I express my love in moments of unconditional appreciation to all people. The more I look for reasons to share my love, the more I will find. Especially during the Advent season, there are so many opportunities to visit, to care, to give. I will choose the ones that fill my heart to overflowing. Today I will abide in love. So this is a really interesting time of year, as we all know, and there can be a lot of excitement and joy. There can also be some sadness and discomfort. So I thought that I would share a very brief practice. It's a breath practice, and it's so important for us to be connected to our mind, body, and spirit all throughout the year, particularly this time of year. So I'm going to share two practices with you, if you will. One is if you want to energize and enliven the body, and one is if you want to relax the body. So our breath is always with us. Our mind, body, and breath are intimately connected. So if we want to increase the energy that we have, we increase our inhale and decrease our exhale. If we want to move into rest, peace, our parasympathetic system, then we actually increase our exhalation, decrease our inhalation. I don't want to make this sound complicated. So if you would prefer not to focus on your breath during this time, that's okay too. If you'd rather focus on sounds in the room or perhaps sensations of the body, touching the chair or the floor, that's fine. This is your time. This is your Kairos practice. So again, if you would like to energize the body, then I invite you to take in a breath of 5 and exhale for 3. Again, inhale for 5, exhale for 3. If you want to relax the body, then inhale for 3 and exhale for 5. We'll do this for about 30 seconds. Don't have to worry about the time. I'll keep track of that. So just take this time to tune into your mind, body, and spirit, perhaps your breath or another anchor, whatever will help you be present in this precious moment. And as we bring this brief practice to a close, you may want to bring some gentle movement to the body. I just want to remind you to please focus on self-care, particularly during this time. As Eleanor Brown has said, self-care is not selfish. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. I wish you a joyous and peaceful Christmas. And I'll close by saying the light and love in me sees and honors the light and love in you, also known as Namaste.
Once upon a time, of all the good days of the year upon Christmas Eve, Ebenezer Scrooge was busy in his counting house, keeping an eye on his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who sat at his desk finishing off the day's accounts. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, was Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Hard and sharp as flint, secret, solitary, and self-contained as an oyster. The city clocks had only just gone 3. Bong, bong, bong. But it was quite dark already. It was cold, bleak, foggy weather, but Scrooge didn't care. It's cold, bleak, foggy weather, but I don't care. Scrooge had a very small fire, but his clerk's fire was so much smaller that it looked like one coal. But he couldn't replenish it, for Scrooge kept the coal box in his own room, and if the clerk dared to enter with a shovel, Scrooge would remind him that his employment might come to an end. Get back in there if you want to keep your job. And so the clerk would wrap his long white scarf about his neck and try to warm himself at the candle, in which effort, not being a man of strong imagination, he failed. "A Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!" It was the cheerful voice of Scrooge's nephew, Fred. "Bah! Humbug! Christmas a humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that." "I do. Merry Christmas! What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer? If I had my will, every idiot that goes about with Merry Christmas upon his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine." "But you don't keep it. Let me leave it alone, then. Much good may it do you. Much good it has ever done you." "Oh, there are many things from which I might have derived good, from which I have not profited, I dare say. Christmas among the rest. But I'm sure that I have always thought of Christmas time as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know of in the whole calendar year where men and women seem to open their shut-up hearts freely and think of other people as if they were fellow travelers to the grave and not another race of creatures bound on other journeys. And therefore, Uncle, though it's never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pockets, I believe Christmas has done me good and will do me good, and I say, God bless it." Bob Cratchit was so impressed with this speech that he involuntarily applauded. "Let me hear another sound out of you, and you'll keep Christmas by losing your situation." "Well, you're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament." "Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow." "I'll see you in hell first." "I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?" "Good afternoon." "Well, I have made my offer in honor of Christmas, and I shall keep my Christmas humor till the last. So, a Merry Christmas, Uncle. Good afternoon, and a Happy New Year. Good afternoon." "You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose." "If quite convenient, sir." "It is not convenient, and it is not fair. If I were to stop you half a crown for it, you'd think yourself mightily ill-used, I'll be bound. And yet you don't think me ill-used for paying a day's wages for no work." "It's only once a year, sir." "It's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December." "Very well. If you must have the whole day, be here all the earlier the next morning." "I will, sir. Thank you, sir. And good afternoon, sir." And Bob tightened that white scarf about his neck, left the office as quickly as he could, and ran home as fast as his legs would carry him. And now, at this point in the story, Scrooge would meet Jacob Marley and the ghost of Christmas past. And they would show him how he had become the man he was today. But we're going to move on to Christmas present. So we're going to be meeting the Cratchit family again. Bong! Scrooge awoke in his bedroom. But when he pulled back the bed curtains, the room had undergone a surprising transformation. My bedroom has undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were hung with holly, mistletoe, and ivy. A mighty fire blazed in the fireplace. Heaped upon the floor was every kind of Christmas fare, turkeys and geese, mince pies and plum puddings, oysters and chestnuts, apples, oranges, pears, cakes and cookies, and great bowls of punch. And in the midst of all this there stood a glorious giant. Come in, and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. Have you ever seen the likes of me before? No, Spirit. No, I never have. Oh, Spirit, take me where you will. I went last night on compulsion, and I learned a lesson that is working now. Tonight, if you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it. Touch my robe! The room and everything in it vanished instantly, and they found themselves upon the snowy, bustling Christmas streets of a Christmas morning. Scrooge and the ghost passed on, invisible, straight into the house of Scrooge's clerk, Bob Cratchit. There was Mrs. Cratchit, Bob Cratchit's wife. Miss Belinda Cratchit. Hello. Master Peter Cratchit. Hello. And two smaller Cratchits, a boy. Hello. And a girl. Hello. Whatever's got your precious father then? And your brother, Tiny Tim. And Martha wasn't this late last Christmas Day by half an hour. Why, there's our Martha now. Bless your heart alive, my dear, how late you are. We had a deal of work to finish up last night, Mother, and had to clear away this morning. Well, never mind so long as you are here. Come and sit yourself down by the fire, my dear, and warm yourself up, God bless you. No, there's Father coming. Hide, Martha, hide. So Martha hid herself. And in came Scrooge's clerk, with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder. Poor little Tim held a wooden crutch, his limbs supported by an iron frame. There you go, Tim. All right, my boy. Well, where's our Martha? Not coming. Not coming upon Christmas Day. But Martha couldn't bear to see her father disappointed, so she jumped out from her hiding place. Here I am, Father. It was only a joke. Now, children, why don't you fetch the goose? Take little Tim with you. That's right, be careful. And do take care bringing it in. And how did our little Tim behave? Oh, as good as gold and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much and thinks the strangest things you ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people saw him in the church because he's a cripple, and it might be pleasant for them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. Oh, but our Tim is growing stronger every day. Here's the goose, Father. Look at the goose. Well, such a bustle ensued that you might have thought a goose the rarest of all birds. Mrs. Cratchit made the gravy sizzling hot. Master Peter mashed the potatoes. Miss Belinda sweetened the apple sauce. Martha wiped the plates. And then Tiny Tim sat next to Bob Cratchit at the table. There we go. And at last everything was ready and grace was said. For all we eat and all we wear, for daily bread and nightly care, our Heavenly Father, we thank thee. Amen. And this was succeeded by a breathless pause as Mrs. Cratchit plunged the carving knife into the goose. And a murmur of delight arose around the table. Ooh, and everyone cried, hurrah! There never was such a goose. And when the Cratchits had had enough and the youngest children were full up to the eyebrows, Martha changed the plates and Mrs. Cratchit went out alone to fetch the Christmas pudding. Suppose it isn't done enough. Suppose it should break in turning out. Supposing someone's climbed over the wall into the backyard and stolen it while we were merry with the goose. But a few moments later, she came back in with the Christmas pudding, a speckled cannonball blazing with brandy, Christmas holly stuck into the top. Oh, my dear, what a wonderful pudding. I must confess now the weight is off my mind. I had my doubts about the quantity of flour. Well, at last the dinner was over and the family gathered around the hearth. A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us. God bless us. God bless us. Achoo! God bless us, everyone. Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live. I see a vacant seat in the chimney corner and a crutch without an owner carefully preserved. If these shadows are not altered by the future, the child will die. Oh, no, Spirit. No, no, kind Spirit, say he will be spared. What then? If he be like to die, he'd better do it and decrease the surplus population. Bob Cratchit charged his glass and raised it in a toast. I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of our feast, to Mr. Scrooge. The founder of our feast, indeed? Well, I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I hope he'd have good appetite for it. My dear, Christmas Day, the children. Well, it should be Christmas Day, I am sure, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you. My dear, Christmas Day? Well, I'll drink his health for your sake and the day's, not for his. A long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to him. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt. Mr. Scrooge. Mr. Scrooge. At this point in the story, the ghost of Christmas future arrives. And he shows Scrooge all the things that are going to happen if he doesn't change his ways. So let's go back to the Cratchits at this part of the story. The ghost of Christmas yet to come conveyed them to Bob Cratchit's house, the dwelling they had visited before, and found the children sitting around the fire with their mother, and all of them looking up at Peter, who was reading from a book. And he took a child, and he set him in the midst of them. The mother lay down her work. Oh. Oh. The colour hurts my eyes. It makes them weak by candlelight, and I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he gets home for the world. He's late tonight. I think he walks a little slower than he used to, Mother. I have known him walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder very fast indeed. Oh, but little Tim was very light to carry, Peter, and your father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble. Oh, and there's your father at the door. She hurried out to meet him, and in came Bob, who was in a good frame of mind and spoke pleasantly to all the people. My dear, I went to our Tim's grave today. Oh, I wish you could have gone. It would have done your heart good to see how green a place it is. But you'll go there often, I know you will. I promised him that I would walk there on a Sunday. Oh, my little child, my little child. And now we'll go to the end of the book, the day after Christmas, where Scrooge is waiting in the office for Bob to come so that he can play a Christmas joke on him. Now, if I can just catch Bob Cratchit coming in late, that is what I've set my heart upon. The clock struck 9. Bong! No Bob. 9:15. Bong! No Bob. His door was wide open so he could see Bob Cratchit enter. Bob's hat was off before he came in, his scarf too, and he sat at his desk writing away as fast as he could, as if to catch up on lost time. "What do you mean by coming in here at this time of day?" "I am behind my time, sir. I'm very sorry." "You are? Yes, I think you are. Step this way, if you please." "Oh, it's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir." "Well, I'll tell you what, my fine friend. I'm not about to take this sort of behavior any longer, and therefore, I am about to raise your salary." "A Merry Christmas, Bob. A Merry Christmas, my good fellow, than I have wished you in many a year. I shall raise your salary, and I shall endeavor to assist your struggling family, and we shall discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. Now stoke up the fire and buy a second coal scuttle before you dot another I. Bob Cratchit." Scrooge was as good as his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, as good a man as this good old city knew. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but Scrooge's own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. He had no further interaction with spirits, and it was always said of Ebenezer Scrooge that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed that knowledge. May that be truly said of us, and of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
Word, and the band's going to do a song, and then we're going to do a song together and sing that as our final song and kind of as our benediction. But as you're exiting, I would love to see if we could do sort of a love offering as well. The church has paid for Bernadette to be here, but we would love to subsidize that a little bit with your offering as well. So hopefully you'll feel you can do some more of that. And let's see, yes, Adrian and Lori will be standing at opposite ends, and they'll have a basket in their hands. We don't know where those baskets are at the moment, but there'll be a basket in there. Well, not these. Well, maybe these. We'll see. Okay. Thank you again, Bernadette. That was absolutely amazing. And she'll be in the back with books as well. So hopefully you can go back and greet her back there afterwards. Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
There could be a blue kazoo, a pair of ruby shoes, a silky new fetching a rickamone, a Pakistani rug, an Elvis Presley mug, all the very best of every comb out. There could be a handsome blonde or a Harry Potter wand, all those little strips to help you quit snoring, an anti-aging cream or a healthy self-esteem waiting there for you on Christmas morning. And then again in light of life's uncertainties, You may not find a single one of these, but guaranteed underneath that tree will be a brand new day begun. The ones who love you and a turning earth and a great big shining sun. It's a big old shining sun. You might like a better job, a diamond ring from Bob, a cabin place on Lil Fuji. You might pray to be released for Middle Eastern peace, or a sort of light like Obi-Wan Kenobi. You can bring your list to Santa on your knees. All he's gonna say is we will see. But guarantee underneath that tree will be a brand new day begun. Now, and the ones that love you and a turning earth and a great big shining sun. It's a big old shining sun. And if that's all you get for Christmas, in spite of all those wishes, you might hang your head and then go back to bed. Or you might discover it instead. When you wake and see the day, on the earth you read your name. You cut the gold ribbons all around. You still might be surprised and even realized that you got everything you wanted. And when you see underneath that tree another brand new day begun. Now, the ones that love you and a turning earth and a big, big shining sun. It's a big old shining sun. Big old shining sun. That giant fireball, the greatest ornament of all, hung in the sky Christmas morning. Yay. Okay, the last number, let's go, yo. It's a good one. Do what? Oh, definitely. Yeah, y'all need to sing with us. All right, follow them. Yeah. Oh, it's late December, dark and cold.
Where is the light?
When old man you is spending low.
Where is the light?
That's right. When the sun runs off to bed too soon.
Where is the light?
Oh, there ain't nothing but a skinny moon.
Where is the light?
Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. It's dark each morning when I'm rising.
Where is the light?
It's dark when my eggs is frying.
Where is the light?
Ooh, and it's dark when off to work that I go.
Where is the light?
It's dark again when I get home.
Where is the light?
Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. It's in my skin and in my bones, in my heart and in my soul. Light and light so bright and gold, just like a summer's day. When the sun goes missing on the sky, it's rising in my eyes, chasing all that winter gloom away. I'm burning like a kerosene.
Where is the light?
I'm twinkling like the Pleiades.
Where is the light?
dancing like a candle flame.
Where is the light?
Oh, I'm flaming like a fruit flambe.
Where is the light?
Tell me, where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Just tell me, where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Jump for this little light of mine. I'ma let it shine. Oh, darling, this little light of mine. I'ma let it shine. This little light of mine. I'ma let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
So good to see all of you all. Bless you all and have a wonderful Christmas. Find the basket on your way. I'll be generous with that. And find Bernadette out there with the book if you'd like to talk to her as well. And then we'll see you on January 5th. Blessings on your Christmas holidays.